You're listening to the Orange Power Podcast, a product of Oklahoma State Athletics. Here are your hosts, Jessica Morrey and the voice of the Cowboys, Dave Hunziker.
It's homecoming week at Oklahoma State, and the Cowboys welcome the Kansas Jayhawks to Stillwater with Coach Gundy as always. I was thinking about this morning. Your leading rusher is a first-year guy, Jalen Warren, first year in your program. Your leader in sacks is a true freshman, and your leading receiver is a player who, while he played a year ago for you, Tame Martin, he really didn't play much. So this is his first full year, and here you sit. You know, you've been ranked already in the top 10 in the country. You're off to a 6-1 start. I don't know how many people across the country could say those three situations are as they are, and you're in this position.
I'm really proud of our team and our coaches. And our culture helps us considerably. The parity in college football today, every week is a challenge. Just look at our league. It's very difficult to predict who's going to win, and teams are going to win by what they're supposed to. You know, last week I'm watching the Kansas and tape against Oklahoma, and they were 38-point favorite, and Oklahoma had to struggle to win at the end of the game. And so it's unique. A lot of things contributing to this, Dave. Transfer portal, and now with what's going on with NIL, I don't know what direction that's going to take college football. So we really lean on our culture and focus and the discipline. But our players have fought through a lot of different things and injuries and young guys on offense, and I'm proud of what they've accomplished up to this point.
I'd like to go back to something we talked about in the preseason, the extra year because of COVID. If you're an offensive player, you're probably more inclined perhaps to go ahead and go in the NFL draft. You may be selected higher, especially receivers, quarterbacks, running backs, etc. It would seem like that most of the players who maybe came back for that extra year who were high-level players were probably on defense. Do you think that plays a role in this? Is that proven to be true or no?
I think so. And we've had a lot of discussions as a staff about this. So if I put myself in the position of a parent that has a young man on our team, which I do, he's a freshman, he's not a senior. If he's not a draftable player, meaning that he would only be a free agent, I would have a strong feeling about telling him, if you can come back and play another year and get postgraduate school for free, there's no rush to go out in the world and get a job anyway.
Right.
If you still like playing football, and postgraduate education is so important in society today, more so than ever.
No doubt.
It didn't, it used to be, when you and I are old, but it used to be, hey, if you get a college degree, you got a shot. Now, there's a lot of college degrees. There's a lot of them that people are getting online. So do you have a double major? Do you have some postgraduate school? So with the extra guys, the guys that have the extra year available, I would strongly suggest to my son that you play again and get some postgraduate school. And that's the availability with what's there. Now, what that affects is, you talk about defensive and offensive, what that affects is high school recruiting.
Okay.
Because you get, like this next year, if we have 4 or 5 super seniors again, we can't take as many high school players. This year they gave exceptions for them,
but next year you don't get that?
Well, you get a certain number to get to the 25 you sign, and they haven't decided whether they're an exception, and they have to count on your 85.
Oh, wow.
So we have to be careful who we sign in December now.
Gotcha.
So it's really interesting as we move forward.
Brennan Presley had 2 touchdown catches last week against Iowa State, and in the long touchdown grab, he went up over 2 defenders and made a fantastic play. Seems like we're seeing him more involved, but you're finding some creative ways to get him involved, and as a result, we're seeing just how athletic he is, the types of plays he can make.
We're seeing what he did in high school. He carried Bixby to, I think they won a state championship all 3 years he was there. I don't know if they lost a game. And I saw 2 of them because they played Stillwater. I saw him he touched the ball 17 times in one state championship game against Stillwater. Without him being there, Stillwater maybe wins by 2 touchdowns. And, in fact, they had a 4th and 3 at midfield, and they tossed him the ball, and he made a couple guys miss and converted with a minute left in the game, and they were behind. That's what we're starting to see with him in different areas because he's just now getting enough experience to be competitive at this level.
Sure. Kansas is your opponent, and, of course, everyone knows what happened last week. They led Oklahoma for much of the game before losing. What was different about that Kansas team and that performance compared to what you saw on video earlier in the year?
Their scores have been a little misleading based on the improvement they've made. If I was an outsider looking in, I would say that their coaching staff has said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to get better each week. They've been behind in games by maybe 3 or 4 touchdowns at times, and they didn't change their approach from what I saw. We're running the same plays on offense, not in a 2-minute situation, just trying to improve, and they have improved. They've improved. Did Oklahoma, were they sleeping a little bit? I don't know. I mean, most people would say, yeah, based on being a 5-touchdown favorite. But Kansas was physical. They rushed the ball on defense. They were in attack mode, which I think they'll do to us because they had success against OU. They were bringing pressure more than what they have and had success with it. So it's like they almost just kept doing it, and they thought this is going to work great. So we've had a good week of practice, but guys have to focus. And there's not a lot of room for error right now in college football with many teams. When you look at even the top 10 teams in the country, they've had games that they've been very susceptible and lost.
Yeah.
So we're in the same category. We have to focus, prepare, play well, take care of the football, and minimize big plays.
Sometimes it gets overblown, a result like that, and how it affects the next team to face a squad like Kansas. But is it truly an attention getter for the players? I mean, do they see that and say, whoa, wait a second now, instead of acting like we're preparing and maybe not being as focused, we'd better be ready to go? Does it affect them that way?
It should. It should have affected our players.
Okay.
We've done a good job here in the past of respecting our opponents. We've always done that. I think we have. And we've practiced well. But I can't imagine being a player on our team and watching the video from the last game and not thinking, hey, we better get ready.
Yeah.
I would think it would help us. But it has to give them a lift. Mentally, they have to think, hey, guys, look where we're at. So it'll be interesting how it plays out Saturday night.
So we are now 7 games in. We're getting ready to go into the final month of the season. So everybody now has a pretty clear understanding of everyone else in the conference, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, et cetera, et cetera. Where is an area or two of growth that you would like to see to help respond to some of the perceptions your opponents will have now?
We still need to get better on offense. We need to finish blocks and be able to rush the ball and then be more profitable in the throwing game. We need to find a way to get the ball down there, and guys got to make catches. We just haven't had as many explosive plays in the throwing game where forever we would catch a 6-yard in route and run for 12 yards and it'd be an 18-yard play. We haven't had many of those. And that's what we have to get back to help our team as we go through the final month and finish out the regular season.
Stay with us. A visit with Cowboy Cross Country coach Dave Smith and a chat with Mike Boynton about everything not related to basketball when we continue. It's time for Ask the Coach, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Hey, Coach Gundy, this is Mike. What was it like getting to play with Barry Sanders?
Well, there's nothing like being on the field with him. I've said for 35 years now that I had the best view of the greatest college running back ever. And the fact that I handed it off or tossed it to him and I could stand behind him and watch him do things that normal people can't do. Still to this day, there's so many good running backs that have played, but I don't think there's any question in college he was the greatest running back ever, and I got to stand there and watch him do things that are just somewhat unbelievable.
Remember that mammogram you postponed? The colonoscopy? Your yearly physical? Now's the time to get it done. Mercy is ready with COVID-19 safety precautions in place at all hospitals and clinics. So let's take care of that achy hip. The follow-up with your specialist. Plan for your safe visit at mercy.net/yoursafety. Go to mercy.net/yoursafety. At Mercy, your life is our life's work.
The Big 12 Cross Country Championships will be held in Stillwater this weekend, so we thought we'd catch up with Oklahoma State's cross country coach, Dave Smith. You know, men and women ranked very high nationally. Could this be your best year for the two teams combined?
For sure. Yeah, I don't think we've ever gotten into the conference championships with two top 10 rankings. And the women at 7 and the men at 5, I think we're in a great spot. I feel like both teams are a little better than that. Of course, I probably do. I got my orange colored glasses on, but I really feel like we're probably a little better than those rankings.
So you hosted the Nationals back in the spring at the Griner Family course, which is new and I'm told is just fantastic. So I've also been told pretty challenging course. What's the benefit of, obviously you have a quality course, but a challenging course?
I think the psychology of racing, when you get tired and you're uncomfortable, it's really hard to stay positive. It's hard to keep track of where you are in a course. If it's a course that's where you can see a lot of things, you got great sight lines and you know kind of the shape of it, it's very simple, then it's not so psychologically challenging. But in our course, you're in the woods, you're up and down, you're turning corners, you're turning another corner, and you never know, is this the last corner I'm turning before I head for home, or do I have one more? And I think that psychology, if you don't know the course well, is tough to deal with. And our athletes obviously have an advantage of running on it every day and knowing. I tell them, hey, you got to know every single blade of grass. And in fact, you should name each one and love them and know them intimately. So
Isai Rodriguez is a great story on your men's side.
Yeah.
Tell us about him.
Well, he's a local guy from Ringwood, Oklahoma. And, back when he was a freshman or sophomore, I started getting notes from people from Ringwood. We had a pretty good program and saying, hey, there's a guy out here you should look at. And, I think a lot of people don't understand what training and racing is at this level. And they would say things like, he's so good, he wears a backpack with 25-pound weights in it when he runs. And I think, well, okay, that's fine. Or he runs in combat boots, or he does all these crazy things that maybe he'd read on the internet, or I don't know where he got his ideas, but I was like, well, that doesn't make him a good athlete. And so, I slowly warmed up to him, got to know him, and, I ended up recruiting him, getting him to come to Oklahoma State, and thank goodness we did, because he is probably the best cross-country athlete we've ever had. He might end up being the best distance runner in Oklahoma State history when it's all said and done. He's unbelievable. He's got an incredibly positive attitude. There's just never any doubt in his mind. I tell people that when I was a kid, I played basketball with my dad one-on-one. And I probably played, 2,000 games before I ever beat my dad. But every time I lost, I was like, let's go again. And it'd be dark out every night, and my dad would say, no, we got to go in, it's dark, we can't even see the ball. Isai is the same way when he races. Every single time he thinks he's going to win, and when he does, and he says, let's do it again.
Oh,
and
that's awesome.
That attitude is just really, really probably his superpower.
And I've also been told that his family moved to Oklahoma, and as the recruiting process was unfolding, Isai's father basically told him, you need to go to Oklahoma State because this state has been good to our family, so you should take your talents to Stillwater. Is that a true story? Because that's an amazing story.
I've been told the same thing, and I think that's part of it. And his father is, obviously a great guy, a great man, and is very supportive. I see him at all the meets, but he's not a helicopter parent. He's just very supportive, stands back, lets Isai do his thing, supports him, is excited for him. But he's very proud of Oklahoma and very proud of their family, what they've accomplished here. And I think he wanted to kind of instill some of that state pride in Isai and just really encouraged him to look here first.
Very strong on the women's side. What have been the highlights?
Well, we've had a lot of improvement from some young girls stepping up. We've got 3 really good upperclassmen who are our kind of physical leaders. They're the 3 best athletes on our team. They've been great examples, kind of led the way. But we've got some really young kids that have developed nicely over the last couple of years. Got some redshirt freshmen who are contributing for us, and I think it's a tough thing to do. So I think, we got great leadership and then a nice pack of young runners who are developing pretty quickly.
Last year, you had the National Cross Country Championships in the spring, and as I understand it, you were really having to juggle. Do I have this athlete in indoor? Do I have them do cross country? I'm sure your sanity has to be returning at a high level, because I can't imagine trying to make those decisions.
Yeah.
And now you're back to normal in that sense, right?
Yeah. Last year was challenging, and on the other hand, it was kind of fun. It was something new, something we haven't done before, and trying to put the puzzle together and figure out, does this athlete run our conference indoor meet and then run the national meet, go to the national meet in indoor track, go to the national meet in cross country, which are 2 days apart. And for some, we said, yeah, let's do everything. For some, we said, let's just do indoor. Others, we said, let's just do cross country. And I think we hit it pretty well. I think for the most part, we got it pretty much right.
Final question. What do you think has been the key to your success here? Biggest key.
I mean, this sounds cliche, but it's true. We've recruited the right people. And it's not necessarily great athletes. It's just great attitudes. People like Isai Rodriguez, who just have this incredible positive energy, people who love Oklahoma State, people who love the sport, who support each other, are kind of in this together, kind of this, we talk about family, we talk about team culture, all those kinds of things that we often say in a cliche way, I really feel is just in our DNA. And I think part of it is Oklahoma State University. I think the entire athletic department's kind of that way. And if you look at all of our sports programs, I think we all have that one strength in common, that we have this connectivity and this kind of family approach. And I think that kids gravitate towards that, and those kids will kind of go to bat for each other and go into the trenches with each other. And that's kind of, I think, what's been the best for us.
Best of luck this weekend and in your national competition. Coming up, a conversation with Mike Boynton. Jessica talks to Coach about everything except basketball when we come back.
When we made the decision that we were going to build the Durant Solar Farm, we had the idea of an anchor tenant, and the first one that we thought about was the Choctaw Nation.
It was a perfect fit for us whenever OG&E approached us about this relationship and this idea. They reflect a lot of our same values. They're about growth of our communities. They're about growth of our state. They're trying to help us preserve Oklahoma, our heritage here in the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma.
Academy Sports and Outdoors is your Nike headquarters. We are proud to offer the best and newest Nike apparel, footwear, and sports equipment. From football to baseball, basketball to soccer, and everything in between, Academy is your place for Nike. For back to school and back to the field, head to toe, your home for Nike is Academy Sports and Outdoors.
There are a great many things that can be found on the road. A giant blue whale in central Oklahoma. Musicians in search of that perfect melody. You'll even discover the center of the universe. You'll find stories of lives led, challenges met, and men who raise pigeons. They're all out there waiting to be discovered. All you have to do is follow the road. Phillips 66. Live to the full.
Decorative towel.
There was a mess. I wiped up a mess.
Yeah, you Where is the butt? Never mind, I found it.
Welcome back, football fans. We'll see you in the fridge.
Welcome back to the Orange Power Podcast. I'm Jessica Morrey, and we have another very special guest joining us this week, switching gears to basketball because the basketball season gets started here in just about a week. I'm joined by head men's basketball coach Mike Boynton. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Jessica, thank you for having me.
All right, so this week is homecoming. And normally there's homecoming hoops at Gallagher-Iba Arena, but things are switching it up. We're switching it up a little bit this year and having a homecoming and hoops event at the Beta House on Greek Row after walk-around. Walk me through that decision and what fans can expect.
Well, first of all, I love this new setup here. Right? Clearly it's been being used here for a while, but it's my first time here, and I'm impressed. I like the setup. I like the way we kind of changing things up, and look forward to seeing how it continues to play out. As far as homecoming and hoops, so I think it's a pretty long story that may take up the whole show, so I'll give you the kind of nickel version. I was contacted and made aware that, maybe we were looking at doing something different this year for homecoming for a variety of reasons. And so I don't have any original ideas. My brain doesn't function that way, but I'm a good listener. So I told everybody who wanted to have a role in what the new format would be to just put their ideas on the table. And we obviously we researched what else we could do in GIA, whether we could bring a big-time entertainer in here to have sort of a concert type thing, but we still wanted it to be pretty basketball-centric. And so, several people on our staff and within the department said we should maybe take the hoops part of homecoming to campus. And so then it was how, where, and what does that look like? And there were several ideas brought to the forefront. One was doing something in the Union, kind of in the middle, but it's indoors. How many people can get in? Will people know what's going on? It was an idea to do something on the library lawn, but you don't want to disrupt the integrity of the actual lawn, right, by building a basketball court on it for however many days it would take to set it up. Maybe doing something at Bennett Hall where, before there's a lot of basketball connections at Bennett Hall, and that's where the basketball players used to live way back when. And so all those ideas were thrown on the table, and I think what we settled on was we're going to try to get as close to walk around as we can and try to be on and present on University with most of the other visitors and current students as possible. And so we settled on going to the Beta House, and they already have a basketball court set up, so that made one element of it easier, and then the rest of it continued to build from there. We also thought, how do we make it fun and something that the kids will get excited about? And so Desmond Mason, who's a former Cowboy basketball player, lives in Oklahoma City, played professional basketball for many, many years, obviously traveled around and has been around these type of events many times, won the slam dunk contest as a player himself. Thought, if we bring a big-time DJ in here who's got a big reputation, maybe that'll spice things up and add a little bit more excitement to it. And he suggested a guy who actually was the musician DJ at his wedding.
Oh, wow.
DJ Irie, a guy who's DJ'd NBA All-Star Weekends, a guy who's DJ'd several of the big-time entertainers parties. He's actually the official DJ of the Miami Heat, NBA franchise. And so he's got a great presence in the basketball community.
Yeah.
And we think that that'll be a big turnout. And we're also inviting several former basketball, both men and women, back to be a part of it. Tiffany Bias and Desmond Mason are the headliners for both the men and women. And I think from there, it's just an opportunity to get people engaged in what we hope on both the men's and women's side is going to be a really exciting winter sports season.
Yeah, exactly. And are you guys, what kind of is the lineup? What will be going on? Is there going to be a dunk contest? Is there going to be a three-point contest? Will students be involved? What's kind of going on with that?
Well, I was sworn to secrecy.
Oh, gosh.
So I've told about as much as I can about all the specifics.
Okay.
But I do know that it's going to start about between 8 and 8:30. The festivities will start over there. There'll be giveaways. There'll be contests that students and regular patrons in the community can take part in. Maybe T-shirts given away, signed autographs. I think the guys will perform some sort of athletic task. I don't know exactly what, both men and women. I'm aware that Pete will be there as well as some palm and cheer. And so it'll be all the pomp and circumstance that you get for homecoming in the hoops and GIA, except it'll be at the Beta House.
All right. Well, students and fans are going to have to come out and see, because you're not giving us a lot here. So they're going to have to come out and see what's going on.
Yeah, especially when I'm not involved. I don't want to burst the bubble of someone else's ideas.
Yeah.
That's also not my role here. And so I'm going to be out there to support. A couple things I'll tell you that got shot down. One was me zip lining into this place somehow. But the problem was, so even though I don't have good ideas, I know when something's a bad idea.
Yeah.
So when somebody said, hey, Coach, we think it would be pretty cool if you would zip line, I'm a logical thinker. That's how my brain works. And so I've been on a zip line before. And I don't see how that's possible because I've been past this area also, and I don't see how it works. And they said, well, we could just stick a couple things in the ground. And No. I don't have that kind of liability insurance. And I don't think anybody wants to take up a policy.
Yeah, no, I don't
that would be able to cover my wife and kids.
Yeah, I don't think workers' comp for that right before the season starts.
Yeah, I have skydived, and that was brought up. But yeah, it's one of those things you do once and it's over. So I'm not going to skydive again.
Like skydive, like they were gonna fly a plane over, and they were just gonna like.
Yeah, jump out of the plane and kind of
I'm not gonna lie, that would have been pretty cool.
Sounds good. Yep.
But
you can do it.
I would do it.
All right.
Oh, I would so do it. Just deliver like the ball. I'd bring it down.
There was a thought to have me ride in on Bullet. That also not going to happen.
Okay.
I'm not a horse person. I don't know horses well. I don't ride horses.
Okay.
And so I was immediately concerned about the horse.
Okay.
Because I would imagine there's going to be a lot of people around.
Yeah, that's true.
And horses can sometimes react
irrationally.
Yeah.
Yeah, music and stuff. Yeah, it would
music,
be.
noise, just chaos. And I don't know if that's the type of environment you want a novice riding a horse.
Yeah.
And, so to save all of us unnecessary exposure, right? Because that would go viral for the wrong reasons. We're not going to see Coach Mike riding on a horse.
You could bring BB in, the mini horse.
Yeah, but no one's going to be that excited about that. Let's be honest.
Okay,
I mean,
I'm
people
pretty
would be
excited about BB.
to see BB.
Yeah.
But no one wants to see me walk BB around at homecoming. So
yeah, I mean, you can get a picture with you and with BB. That would be pretty.
Now we may be able to, as we move forward, come up with an idea of get some professionals in here. Maybe there's a way to have a horse competition race or something, but it would need to be people who know how to get horses to calm down if they were to kind of lose their minds a little bit.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah, that's definitely.
It's dangerous too.
Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be so many people there. Yeah, I wouldn't. And Bullet's a great horse, but I don't know how, well trained it would be to handle a situation. I don't know many horses.
It's me.
Well, I think you would be fine.
No, I don't know how to stop the horse.
Yeah, that would be bad.
That's a problem.
Yeah, that would be bad. That would. We had Brendan Presley, one of our wide receivers, on a couple weeks ago, and they had a horse down on the field at Boone Pickens, just random day, and he walked by, and they wanted to get him on the horse and take a picture, and he's like, I've never ridden a horse, and never ridden a horse again. And I was like, well, you just sat on it, and he's like, yeah, I'm not. That was the first and last time. I don't intend to learn how to do it. That was a cool experience, but I'm done with that.
Shout out to Brendan Presley too. That kid's a stud.
Yeah.
Obviously I watch all the games, and I really, admire those kids, the work that they do to go out there, and he's going to be a stud here.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's wearing a Cowboy uniform.
Oh yeah, and just a great kid all around. Just just respectful and polite and nice, and just an all around super respectful kid. His, I think his parents raised a really good kid there. He's great, and I was so excited to see him have success. Unfortunately, we didn't get the win at Iowa State, but he played great, so that was definitely a first down there at the end of the game.
Absolutely.
But, I'm not a ref, so because we would have won that game if I was. But yeah, so no horse, no zip lining, no skydiving, but it's still going to be really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's still some talk of some sort of grand entrance.
Okay.
Has not necessarily been finalized.
Okay.
And then obviously the finalization, because I think someone was convinced that they were going to get me on a zip line. I still have to approve how I'm going to come in first place.
That just doesn't seem realistic, especially with all the house decks and stuff out there and all the people. I mean, you would have to
going on.
I don't think that was a good.
Now, I'll say if anybody could figure out a way to do it, it's the students at Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Right? We are innovative. We can build things.
Yeah.
The ag mentality here. We can figure out a way. Engineering, but we're not ready yet.
Yeah, no. If any of the players were to zip line in, which one do you think would do it? Which one do you think would be like gung-ho, ready to go?
Any of the players. These guys look brave, but we got some guys that are pretty scared of their own shadows out there. Anybody brave enough to zip line, I would say either Rondell Walker, Bryce Williams, or Keelan Boone. Those would be the three that I would say would try it.
Yeah. I feel like if Keelan did it, Caleb would want to probably do it too, don't you think?
No.
You don't think so?
No. They are not similar.
And that's it.
They're just twins.
Yeah. And they just make everything into an argument.
They do.
Into a battle.
Everything's a competition.
Very fun.
But they may be the most dissimilar twins I've ever been around.
Okay.
They don't have very similar interests. They don't dress the same. They don't comport themselves the same.
Yeah.
They are very, very different people.
The dressing the same was a hot topic of competition because who has the better style was a question I remember we asked. We did like a little twin trivia thing last summer, and that was
And the
that
interesting
sparked.
part about it, with twins, you would think their style would be similar.
Yeah.
And it's not.
Yeah.
You would be making a clear choice if you were deciding between the two of them.
Okay. Who has the better style?
Neither one of them has
Okay.
very good style,
Okay,
actually.
cool. Who has the best style on the team?
Probably their coach.
Okay.
Yeah, their coach is the most fashionable person in the program.
I've heard that.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. I've heard that. It goes along with, we always got to check out your shoe game. Are you going to have new, well, you're not going to tell us probably what shoes you're going to wear.
Not what shoes, but they will be new.
Okay,
They
okay.
will be exclusive. And so I'm excited to see how people respond to them. I may even give them away.
See, okay, you do that. That's a thing that's very normal for you. So talk to me about that.
You know, I've been really blessed. I've been fortunate. I grew up with very little, and I feel like everybody should have an opportunity to experience the things that make people feel good, right? And so I've been fortunate to be in a position where I can, get things, and a lot of times I have things sent to me, and I like to share that, and so a lot of times after a couple wears, sometimes after not wearing it all, I just won't want to keep something and have an overflow of stuff that I don't need. And so occasionally I'll just give away some shoes or some shirts or whatever. And mostly it's things that I know people have seen me with that maybe they don't have access to. And so I want everybody to have an opportunity for that.
That's awesome. Do you mainly give the shoes away to the team, or?
I just make them available.
Okay.
I don't know if I could just give them away to the team, but I make them available. And so anybody who wants them can certainly find out how to get them, and I'll make sure they're available for them.
You might have some people slide in your DMs after this.
It's all good. I'm here for the people.
I love that. I wish we wore the same size, which would be weird for me.
It
but
would be weird for me if we wore the same size.
if it was my size shoe, it would be weird for you.
I
If it
think
was your
either
size,
way.
it would be weird for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to wear the same size.
Yeah,
as you.
I don't either, but I would wear the shoes.
Maybe a T-shirt.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have some exclusive shirts or hats
Yeah.
too, so let's go that route.
Okay, yeah, that sounds better.
All right.
You know me, I wear shoes that don't fit me.
You do. It's a weird thing in my mind, but everybody gets to be who they want to be.
If I really like the shoes and get a good deal and they're not necessarily my size, I'll just wear thicker socks.
That's strange.
It's not.
But it makes you unique. I don't know anybody else who accepts that, but that's cool, right?
Yeah. If someone's going to give me the shoes and they're a little too big, I'm not going to be like, no, I will figure out a way to wear them. Even if they make my feet look like clown feet, it's okay.
Yeah. You're very comfortable in your own skin. That's a good thing.
I try.
Most people are way too self-conscious about stuff like that.
Well, I put on a good front, so I've done a good job to hide that, so that's good. Okay, so you're big into how many sneakers would you say you own? How many pairs of shoes do you think you own?
So that's where a lot of people ask me that, and I'm honest. I don't know. Part of it is I don't keep count.
Okay.
The other part is I give a lot of them away.
Yeah.
And so at any given time, I could have 30 to 40 at once.
Okay.
And they're all pretty new. 'Cause
Yeah.
I really just kind of give them away after a while. But I usually give away shoes by like dozens
Yeah.
at a time. And so it's hard to say. Now, if I didn't give my shoes away, I would easily be in the high hundreds.
Yeah.
700, 800, 900 pairs.
Wow.
But I've probably given away as many as I have gotten over the time.
So giving away the shoes, being generous is great, but like, would you have room for 700 pairs of shoes?
I could
Okay.
have room for that many.
Do you have like a shoe room, or do you just have a
I don't
closet
need a
dedicated?
shoe room.
Okay.
If I didn't give them away, I would.
Okay.
My shoes would probably need their own like storage shed.
Yeah.
And it's not just tennis shoes.
Yeah.
I actually like designer shoes more
Okay.
than tennis shoes. So, I've got a couple pair of Louboutins that I really enjoy because they're really comfortable, or some Balenciagas that I only wear when I go out to like nice dinners with people.
Yeah.
But I like shoes that are most comfortable. And,
Yeah.
and I don't really get into the fashion part of it as much as the comfort has got to be first.
Okay. Where do you keep your shoes now? You just in your closet? Do you have
Just
like a
in my
display case or anything like that? Okay.
I'm not overly particular about how they're kept.
Okay.
Because again, I wear them a couple times and then I don't think about them anymore.
Yeah, I feel that. I have like 20 pairs, I think.
That's good.
Yeah, I want to get the cool glass, clear thing shelf where you can like set them up and kind of display them in the closet, but it seems like a lot.
Who's gonna see them?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Me and
That's
my
the one
dog.
thing I've always kind of.
That's true.
Like, I don't,
Yeah, that is
It's
true.
kind of like an old teammate of mine, and we're getting way off track here, but I had a teammate who was really big into tattoos, and he got tattoos on his eyelids. And I always wondered, and I asked him one time, I said, hey, no one will ever see those unless you sleep.
Yeah.
And then they can't even ask you about them. And so
I can't imagine. That sounds so painful.
it does. He's got them in his earlobe, like all on the inside of his earlobe. I mean, but he's probably got as many tattoos as I have shoes.
Wow. What was it of? Did you ever see him?
I don't know, but
It's a
you kind
mystery.
of can check it when he blinks,
Yeah,
which is
real
weird,
quick.
but fascinating nonetheless.
I even wonder how that would. I don't even know how that process would go, getting them tattooed like that. I have like 3 tattoos, and I don't think I could get any more.
I love them.
Yeah.
But I won't get one on my eyelid.
No, please don't.
No.
I don't.
Nowhere on my face.
Yeah, no. I think you're good. How many tattoos do you have?
I have 6 total.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Are they all like meaningful, or are they just?
They're all pretty meaningful.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's important. That's why I don't have any more, is because I can't think of anything else that like means anything to
Yeah. There's plenty of things that now, maybe you don't want to have it written on your body, but there's a lot of meaningful things in your life.
Yeah. I just can't think of, there's things where in that moment I'm like, wow, that would be really cool. Like, I don't know, back in the day, people were like, oh, I'm going to get YOLO tattooed. Thank goodness I never did that. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
That's a thing that could, because that was cool at the time. People were like doing that, and that was like the
Sure.
cool thing to say.
Some things are better left as a thought.
Yes. So I think that was not good.
Most things, actually.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that didn't happen. So yeah, that'd have been pretty bad.
Yep.
Okay, so you like sneakers. Also, I hear you're big into hot chocolate. You like hot chocolate. You don't drink coffee. Is that correct?
I do not drink coffee.
But you go to Starbucks every day.
I go to Starbucks about 6 times a day.
Wait, 6 times a day?
6 times a week.
Okay.
Excuse me.
It's like, whoa.
But I can only go to Starbucks when it's cold enough outside.
Okay.
Because I can only drink hot chocolate from there.
Okay.
And so, I don't go to Starbucks basically from like the 1st of April through like October 1st at all.
Okay.
And then I can't wait until the first day it's like 50 degrees in the morning. Even though it may get up to like 84 that day,
Yeah.
I'm running to the Starbucks line or I'm hitting my app to order a grande hot chocolate with extra drizzle.
Oh, is their hot chocolate just special? Is it different than?
It's really good.
Yeah.
It's the right level of sweet.
Okay.
And good little dash of whipped cream, not a ton. But yeah, it's really good. And the people are pretty nice at Starbucks. So
They are nice.
I'll say this, this is not to bash, but I'm not here to promote any product. Dutch Bros just came in town.
Yeah.
Good hot chocolate.
Okay.
I think the key there is they use chocolate milk.
Oh,
in their hot
interesting.
chocolate.
Okay.
And so it gives a different kind of rich flavor.
Yeah.
And so it's pretty good.
Okay. Hot chocolate
So
connoisseur.
Starbucks
over
has
here.
some competition.
Oh
in there.
wow, yeah, and the hot chocolate game.
Absolutely.
Yeah. See, I'm a hot chocolate if I'm like walking around a pumpkin patch, if I'm looking at Christmas lights, I can't just drink it. I feel like on its own. I feel like I need to be outside, at least outside.
Oh no. Sometimes when it gets not 6 times a day, but sometimes when it gets really cold, I'll have 2 or 3 cups of hot chocolate in a day.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's good stuff.
So I'll go to Starbucks when it's hot out because the iced coffee I like better, and I can make hot coffee at home. And the hot coffee I make at home is pretty good, but I can't make the iced coffee. I just can't do it. So that's not the consistency. The ice melts. It's just not great. So I go to Starbucks from the April probably till about October, and then now I'm I'm saving money right now. I'm in saving money mode as I'm making my own coffee.
See, I don't drink coffee, so I'm totally out.
Yeah.
Out on the iced coffee.
Okay.
Kind of seems like it defeats the purpose to me, but
I don't know what makes it better, but iced coffee is really good.
I'll take your word for it.
So, I mean, you have a lot of energy, and you don't drink any coffee. Do you drink energy drinks?
No energy drinks.
Wow.
No soda.
Wow.
Nope.
Well, your wife is a nutritionist.
Yeah,
so
but that's not
does
why.
she? Okay.
But she doesn't either.
Okay.
She
Do you
doesn't
guys
drink
keep soda
coffee.
out of the house and
Yeah.
that caffeine and stuff out of the house?
It's actually, we have a pretty boring refrigerator.
Okay.
We have milk.
Uh-huh.
We have water. We have orange juice, and that's about it.
Okay. Wow. The kids love that?
No, kids hate it, actually. They always want to go to their friend's house because they have Dr. Pepper and Sprite, Mountain Dew, and Pepsi. They come home and they're like, Mom and Dad never get us anything good to drink.
Oh. Are they come back and they're all like hyped up because they had the caffeine, or are they?
Oh,
pretty-
yeah.
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 That's what, yeah, a Mountain Dew, one Mountain Dew is like, that'll do more than an iced coffee for me. Like, I'm ready to go after that. But that's crazy because you work a lot and you just don't have any, you're just naturally energetic.
I'm high on life.
I love that. That's the way to be.
I mean, I wake up and I feel like I have a better job than I ever imagined having.
Yeah.
You know, I get to do something I really love at a place where people care about what I'm doing, and I get to try to have an impact on, young people's lives. Like, what else do I need to get excited to get up in the morning and go give it my best? So I don't need any additives.
That's a good point. I'm going to think about that while I'm drinking my Red Bull later today because I got up early for this podcast, and as you know, getting up early is not necessarily my favorite thing, but
It's your least favorite thing.
it is
I
really.
think.
But I don't know. You kind of dogged me for that quite a bit, but I don't know where that came from. I don't remember how that got brought up, but
Well, we were doing our show the last couple years, and we usually do it in the morning, and I think we usually do it like 10. And every time it was like, it's early, and I was thinking to myself, I get up at 5 every day.
even on the weekends.
Doesn't matter.
What do you just
So
get
by
up?
10 o'clock, in my mind, half the day is gone.
Okay, what do you do from the but you come to work right away, or are you out? Do you go for a
I
run?
exercise.
What do you do? Okay.
I don't have very many hobbies. I say my fridge is boring. It's probably a microcosm of my life. I live a pretty boring life. I enjoy exercising, reading, spending time with my kids, and basketball. That's it.
Okay.
I don't go out. I don't really have a ton of friends. I don't play golf. I don't, So I get up, I exercise, I go back home. Usually if it's school, I get my kids ready to take them to school, and then I come in and I'm ready for the day.
No naps.
No.
Wow.
I can't sleep in the middle of the day.
Okay.
It just won't happen. My brain has just too many things that I feel like I need to get done.
Okay.
Because I'm also afraid that you don't know what time you're going to wake up.
Yeah, you could set an alarm.
Okay. But when you set an alarm, in my mind, like, it's because you don't want to get up then.
Yeah, no, every time I set an alarm, I don't want to get up.
Right.
When I set the alarm.
So I don't want to go to sleep at, let's just say 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And be upset that I wake up at 3:30, if that's what the plan is.
Yeah.
Right? I want to sleep when I need to sleep. So I usually sleep from about 12:31 to 5, and that's it. And then it's go time.
Like 4 hours, 4.5 hours of sleep?
4.5 hours. And
Wow.
Let's go.
I'm dragging if I don't get like 10.
There's stuff to do.
It's a Sunday afternoon. You're just hanging out. You don't want to you fall asleep on the
The
couch.
days of the week are irrelevant.
Okay.
They don't really exist.
Okay.
Every day is the same,
Okay. Every day you do the same thing.
pretty much.
Okay.
Some days I travel a
Yeah.
lot, but other than that, every day is about the same.
And traveling, it doesn't make you want to sleep more when you get to. Wow.
In fact, traveling helps my sleep sometimes because I sleep probably most peacefully on an airplane.
Okay. Interesting.
It doesn't matter if it's a 20-minute flight or a 20-hour flight.
Okay.
I sleep most comfortably on an airplane.
Interesting. Is that?
Probably a bad thing.
Yeah. Is that? Have you been on a 20-hour flight?
Yeah.
Where'd you fly to? It was 20 hours.
We went to, maybe not 20 hours, when we went to Venice 2 years ago now. I think it was about a 15-hour flight from,
Wow.
Where did we fly from? Maybe Atlanta.
Oh, wow.
We went to Atlanta and flew from Atlanta. No, Houston.
Okay.
And it was a pretty long one.
Yeah. Did you sleep the whole time?
No, I read a couple of books, but I slept,
Read a couple
probably
of
4.
books. That's impressive,
Oh, yeah,
too.
I love reading.
Favorite book?
Ever?
Yeah.
Wow. You know what? I've read a lot. Probably the book that has had the most impact on me is called Makes Me Wanna Holler by Nathan McCall.
Okay.
And it's really a cultural book about the plight of African-American men in the United States. And it doesn't necessarily dog the country. It just talks about how our mindset is growing up in the environments that many of us do, and how it's incumbent upon us that we always figure out how we can control our decision-making, right? And not allow the circumstances we grew up to control our decision-making.
Okay.
And it's actually the book that got me inspired to want to read more. And when I got to college, my freshman year, I had a professor named Christopher Levy Johnson, and he was associate professor in the African American Studies department. And he and I are actually best friends today. He married Jenny and I.
Oh, that's awesome.
But he gave me that book, and I read it in 2 days. And I came back to him and I asked him, I said, anything else you can get me to read, please give it to me. And so I went to college thinking I was going to major in business.
Okay.
And I ended up majoring in African American history and got my degree in it partly because of that book and the experience I had with it.
Wow. That is a very
But I love reading autobiographies.
Okay.
I just finished John Thompson's for the second time.
Okay.
I just finished reading a book called Be Where Your Feet Are.
Okay.
Phenomenal. I read a book called The Psychology of Money.
Okay.
And so I read a lot of different kinds of books.
Are you reading more, you learning when you're reading, you want to learn, or is it more just relaxing, or what's
No.
kind of?
Always learning.
Always learning, okay.
Always.
Okay.
Always.
Interesting.
Yep.
So no, like, fiction kind of
Not
story?
really.
No? Okay.
Not really. I mean, I would, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't pick one up and say, I'm excited to read this. If somebody said, hey, this book was really good, I may read it, but those books take me much longer.
Yeah. Okay. So you read, you don't spend a lot of time watching TV?
I watch no TV. In fact, I kind of have a general rule.
Okay.
If they don't keep score, I have no interest.
Okay.
So sports, and that's about it.
Okay.
Or even like a game show would be next if it wasn't a sport.
Which game show?
Like, Family Feud,
Yeah,
or Wheel of
that's a good one.
Fortune, Jeopardy, like something where there's somebody's competing for something.
Okay.
That's pretty much how my, life is revolved around competition.
Okay. So you don't watch like Paw Patrol with the kids?
Nope.
Do they watch TV?
Sure.
Yeah. Does Jenny watch TV?
Oh yeah, she loves it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You just don't watch with her?
No,
Okay.
definitely not.
You just read?
Well,
I guess you're probably not
or watch basketball.
working. Yeah, you're probably working a lot, so probably not a lot of time. But you did watch one TV show, Ted Lasso, which, in my opinion, which matters a lot, is the greatest show I've ever seen. I love that show so much. It's the most happy, joyful show, and I'm excited to watch it. And it's one show I put my phone down and I lock in. I just think it's so good. What were your thoughts on Ted Lasso as someone who doesn't watch TV?
I'll step back. I used to watch a lot of TV.
Okay.
I used to really enjoy watching Martin Lawrence's show, Friends, Cheers, Living Single. Like, there was a lot of shows, Different World, like shows I grew up watching. As I've gotten older and kind of gotten a professional life, it's just I don't really have that kind of attention or time I can't let my mind be at that much ease to enjoy the show. However,
it's understandable.
I was in a leadership meeting about a year and a half ago, and someone played a clip from Ted Lasso, and I was hooked. I loved just the style of the show, the realness, the relatability to things that I know, that I live, and things that cross my mind, things I want to say. I don't necessarily say how he does, but it's fascinating, the show is. And even though I won't say I've been committed to watching it, it is something I've enjoyed.
Did you watch the second season or just the first season?
Not the second season yet.
Okay.
And I usually, when I see something like that, I like to let it get through.
Yes.
Because I also, if I'm going to watch it, I want to get through it pretty quickly.
Yeah, which it just ended, so you're good to go on that.
So let's do it.
It's very good. Obviously, the first season was, unbelievable. The second season's pretty good, too. I'm never going to say anything bad about Ted Lasso. It's just so good. I mean, it's just happy, and the character development is very good, and there's, strong female characters, and it's just the writing's very good. So, yeah, I'm all in.
Yeah, it's one of those things, I'm fascinated by greatness.
Yeah.
And I would put that in the category of a great, show.
Yeah.
But I want to see the best people in anything that they do what they do.
Yeah.
And so a lot of it's entertainment based, but anything, like the best, the the best construction worker, I want to see him work on his job. Like, I want to see the best hairstylists do their work. Like, I want to see the people who do, and it comes from, like, the competitive side of me wanting to admire and have an appreciation for, you know, the Kobe Bryants and the Michael Jordans and even LeBron James, who I don't necessarily put in the category with those other guys, but he is a phenom. And so Ted Lasso and that show definitely is one of the all-time great shows I think has ever come across television.
Yeah, see? Yes. That's a very good statement. I love that statement. When you watch it as a coach, how are you kind of watching it that way? You see it from a different perspective than I would see it probably.
Yeah, I would imagine so. I mean, I think that's part of the issue, right? This will be my 18th year coaching college basketball. And my eyes can't see basketball or coaching the same way as I did when I was 14 years old. Mm-hmm. I can't watch a game without thinking about the strategy.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter whether I'm interested in who wins or not.
Okay.
Because sometimes I'll watch a random college basketball game. I don't have a rooting interest. I don't know anybody on either team.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking it's 4 minutes and 25 seconds to go, and this team's down 8. What would I do here in this timeout? What would I say? And so Ted Lasso definitely presents some of those moments for me. What is the conversation going to be like in the locker room because of this situation? And so that's the way I think about pretty much everything in sports. Even when I watch in a different sport, I watch baseball, and I think, should I hit and run or steal here? And I don't know anything about baseball. Like, if I'm watching a football game, like, should I go for it on 4th down? Should I, I'm always like the onside kick, fake field goal guy, like trick play.
Yeah.
Like, let's just spice the game up.
Oh, I'm right there with you. I'm here for that too.
Now, none of it probably makes any sense.
Yeah.
Which is why I would not be a good football coach.
Yeah, no, I'm team like never punt. Like, let's just go for it on 4th down.
Don't even have a punter.
Yeah.
You kidding me?
No offense, Tom Hunt. We love you.
Know.
Yeah.
Absolutely love you, Tom. You do a great job for us.
But yeah, that's I covered a few high school teams where that was their thing. They never punted, and they would score, upwards of 70 to 80 points a game, and it was so fun. It was just good to watch.
I'm sure sometimes it was not very good.
Yeah, sometimes, but that was.
Because if you're like me and you don't have a punter, sometimes it's 4th and 28.
Yeah.
Like, you got to live with that.
Yeah, you got to live, which is still entertaining, which is still, it makes it an interesting.
4th and 28 from your own 3.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. If I was a quarterback, I'd probably punt myself. I would punt. Be like, you know what? I can't throw it this far. It's not going to happen. So when you're watching sports like that, are you able to enjoy them? You're enjoying the strategy and stuff like that, but you're able to just kind of sit back and never relax. It seems like you don't really get to relax too much when you read, I guess, and when you're on the plane and you're napping.
Relaxer.
Okay.
It's a problem.
Okay.
It's probably something I need to have addressed. Not that I'm, it's not like a professional. I don't need any help. But I do think it's important that you are able to kind of disconnect from what you do.
Yeah.
And I have a hard time doing that. I may be the worst person ever to go on vacation with.
Oh, gosh.
My kids, my wife, they're like, hey, dude, like, put the phone down. Come on, enjoy the pool. But I don't like the pool. Like, I don't like the beach. I don't like the sun. I don't like.
You don't like the sun?
No.
Who doesn't like the beach and the sun?
Me.
Why?
It's hot. I don't like being hot.
It is. What if it's like 70 degrees?
70 degrees is the perfect temperature.
Okay.
No sun.
No sun. So cloudy day at the beach.
Cloudy day at the beach. So my wife will tell you this. We went to Tahoe in May, and we experienced all 4 seasons in 1 week.
Oh, wow.
We got there on a Sunday. It was probably 68 and overcast.
Okay.
We got up to about 87, 88, and sunny, and we were out on the beach in shorts, flying kites, throwing footballs, and by Friday, it was 10 inches of snow on the ground.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I don't think I could live there.
So my best day was like Monday when it was like 70 and overcast, and we were sitting out, and we all had jackets on the beach.
I like that too. Yeah.
Like, perfect for me.
But when you're out there and it's sunny and it's nice and you're throwing the football and flying the kites, you're just like, man, I really wish the sun was gone. I really wish it was cloudy.
Yeah, that's where, I'd rather it be cool. And, that's why I like the winter. I was born in the winter, so that may be a part of it. I don't know. But I was born in January, so I've always enjoyed the winter more than any other season. Basketball season's in the winter. It's my favorite sport. And so, and also growing up in New York, right? So that's kind of what I was accustomed to.
Yeah.
And you just kind of live through true seasonal changes, right? It's really fall. Like,
not
sometimes
here
you have a hot summer.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's 40 degrees out.
Yeah.
You miss the time.
And then it's 70 again.
A light jacket.
Yes.
Right?
That's the best time.
And then you go from it being cold and you got, 3 inches of snow, and then it's like 78 degrees again. You're like, well, what happened to like just taking off one layer of clothing?
Yeah, no, it's hard to do that here, I feel like, especially that one storm that we had in like February or March where it was all the snow and it was like super cold, and and then within a week you're like, oh, I need to take the shorts out. Like, what?
The shorts.
Yeah. Like, like, what is happening here? That was pretty crazy. So you said you went skydiving. When you went skydiving, was that a moment of clarity where you're just like, I'm in the sky and this is great, or were you like strategizing of like your landing?
Probably a little bit of strategy.
Okay.
But here's what I think I'm good at. I know the things that I know nothing about.
Okay.
Okay. And I know I don't know anything about skydiving.
Okay.
So I was able to just allow the people in charge to be in charge.
Okay.
And so you it was a tandem jump.
Okay.
And you go up on this plane and you're just kind of flying and you're kind of looking over the scenery. And you get up there and you're thinking, why did I do this? This was really kind of unnecessary.
Yeah. Why did you do it?
So it was suggested to me as something that was good and awareness for the Golden Knights Army team of jumpers and the appreciation for them and what they do. And so that's pretty much the basis of it.
Okay.
There's more to the story, but we'll leave it there.
Okay.
But so you get up in this plane and you're about to jump, and the guy says, "All right, you ready?" And you're like, I mean, what else? It's not really a question at this time.
Yeah.
And so, you get out there on the edge of the, before you do that, you're flying the plane, and then they turn the plane on its side, all right?
Yeah.
And the door is open. It's not open. There is no door.
Oh, okay, cool.
So
cool. Yeah, sounds
you're
great.
looking down. And
Yeah.
And now you're really thinking, like, maybe we shouldn't.
Yeah.
Like, it's not.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to be hurt if we don't. Let's just land the plane.
Yeah. No one has to know.
We went up, man.
Yeah.
So you get on the edge of the deal, and the guy says, "Okay, on the count of 3, we're gonna jump. You ready?" And you're like, "Well, sure."
Yeah.
Right. What else are you gonna say?
Yeah. I mean, you're strapped to the
guy. I guess
guy.
you can say no, but at that point,
Yeah.
probably pretty cowardly at that
Yeah.
point, right?
Yeah.
So the guy goes, he starts rocking. Goes 1, 2, and jumps.
Yeah. Oh, not on 3.
And so we jump on 2, and I don't know, 10,000 feet of a free fall.
Yeah.
And that felt like life was ending.
Okay.
And it was just a matter of how much longer.
Yeah. Okay. So you weren't relaxing at all. You weren't in a clarity like mine. Yeah.
Like,
okay.
you're
Okay.
just
I've never done it. So yeah, I get.
Because part of it is you're not in control.
Yeah, that's true.
So I hope this guy really knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I also hope that we don't have a malfunction.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Because we have to have this parachute.
Yeah, you can't not have the parachute.
But the parachute's not coming out quick enough.
Yeah.
In your mind.
Oh yeah.
Like every second feels like an hour. Like, dude,
really?
now.
Yeah.
Like the moment you jump out.
The parachute needs to be out. Then it would be a nice, relaxing, like float down to the ground.
You just free fall.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could do it. I say I could do it now. I don't know. I think once I got up there, I probably could. But yeah, I don't know.
But then the most euphoric thing happens. The parachute comes out.
Yeah.
And you are floating in the middle of the sky.
Yeah.
And there's really nothing to do except kind of look around and observe the area.
Yeah.
And there's no pressure. It doesn't feel anything. Like, you feel safe.
Yeah.
And you just kind of float to the ground.
Was the landing
cool.
okay?
Landing was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where did you do it at?
It was a town just outside of Norman.
Oh, okay.
And there's a little airstrip up there, and I guess they do it every year.
And you did it with the Golden
Knights.
Knights. See, yeah, I would trust them.
I did trust them.
So, yeah. So I would do that instead of like a random place.
No random.
Yeah. So would you say that's the most adventurous thing you've ever done?
Most adventurous? Yeah. I would say yeah.
Then the zip lining.
Zip lining isn't as adventurous as
Yeah.
it seems.
Yeah.
If you've done it before.
Yeah.
Right. I think skydiving would be just as adventurous the second time.
Oh, yeah. And you're not going to do it again, though. We're not going to find that out.
But zip lining is adventurous until you do it and you realize
You're just kind of like going.
it's cool. Like, it's
Yeah.
fun. But it's like riding a roller coaster.
Yeah.
You know, pretty safe. It's pretty secure. Like, people
Yeah.
do it all day, every day.
Yeah.
You know,
Do you like roller coasters?
not necessarily.
Yeah. I'm not a
They're
big-
unnecessary.
I used I used to really like them, and then I think I got a concussion one time. I got a concussion multiple times, but this one is the one that got me, and I didn't. And now, like,
Is this
I
the one that
can't-
ended your athletic career?
Yeah. Oh, no, that was just my athletic ability ended my athletic career. Yeah, my ability to not run fast or lift heavy or do anything really got me there. And probably my height didn't help much either. But no, this was just a casual, shooting the game on the sidelines at a high school game, and a kid laid me out. Had to miss work. It was a whole thing. Wild times. It went viral. It was not because everyone got it on camera because you're shooting the game.
Wow.
Yeah, the whole stadium went silent. It was pretty crazy. Got up, continued to shoot the game, did 5 live shots, no big deal. Don't remember them, but it's fine. No one knew. Or they didn't think I was concussed until I got back to the office, and they were like, "Hey, you're acting weird." And I was like, "Oh, cool. We'll go figure that out. Let me drive home." Yeah, it wasn't great. But yeah, after that, like the roller coasters now, like I have to close my eyes or I get super lightheaded and I just can't do it anymore. And I'm like, wow, I used to be kind of cool. Now I can't do anything.
I'm married well for a lot of reasons. Not one of which is my wife may be the most adventurous person I've ever met.
Really? Okay.
And she would go ride a roller coaster. Well, like give her the most daring thing to do, and
Okay.
she wants to try it.
Is she like cliff diving?
Whatever.
Bungee jumping?
Doesn't matter.
Really?
Yeah.
And you're just there to cheer her on?
I don't want to be there to cheer her on, but yeah. And so, like, the best thing for me when we go somewhere together is to have our kids with us.
Because they're not.
Because they can't.
Yeah, no, they can't jump off the
So
cliff.
somebody has to stay with the kids.
Yeah, that's a good
and
point.
then I don't have to go with her or say that I'm not going with her because she knows.
Yeah.
That,
What kind of stuff is she doing where you're like, I'm going to stay with the kids?
you know the free fall rides when you go
Oh,
over
yeah,
there
yeah.
and you
No,
just
yeah.
drop for,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
No
Wow,
thanks.
she just does. Wow, that's
All of it.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. The most daring one that I liked was in Vegas at that Stratosphere Hotel. The one that goes out over the strip and it like
Sure.
hangs you out over.
yeah.
I was like, okay, that's daring enough for me. I'll just do that and
Sure.
call it good.
In fact, she wanted to do the skydiving with me and was really disappointed that she wasn't able to. So
Oh yeah, I bet she was super bummed. She's like, this is my kind of thing.
yes, still on her bucket list.
Yeah, and you're not gonna go with her.
Nope.
No.
I did it already.
Yeah, true. You're an expert now. You don't need to go again. You're fine. So speaking of Jenny, real quick, what was the proposal like when you? I know you met Jenny when you were at South Carolina, correct?
I did.
You were a GA and she was working as a nutionist. Is that correct?
I was an assistant coach.
Assistant coach. Okay.
We both actually got to Columbia professionally at about the same time.
Okay.
She's from Michigan.
Okay.
She went to Virginia Tech, did her undergrad, played volleyball there. Was a really good athlete, still is.
Yeah.
And then she got her undergraduate degree in sports nutrition.
Okay.
And then got a master's in food science at the University of Florida.
Okay.
And then she was working at the South Florida for a little while, and then got hired at South Carolina as a full-time sports dietitian for the whole athletic department.
Oh, awesome.
And so we met when I got back there in 2008 as an assistant coach. She was there her first year. And, funny story how we met. We won't go into it right now. But in 2010, I believe it was on her birthday, I actually proposed to her. So she wasn't expecting it. And I think she enjoyed the surprise, although she was completely overwhelmed by it at the same time. So.
Was it like at a restaurant or where were you guys?
No, so we actually had gone out to eat.
Okay.
And at the time, I had a screened-in. I had a screened-in back porch at the house that I was living in, and so we were just hanging out there, listening to music, just kind of chatting, and one of her favorite songs had come on, and at that moment, I took the chance to get on a knee and
Did you plan the song, or it just happened?
It just happened. I had planned the proposal, but the song happened. So
That's like fate. That's
God
perfect.
intervened, I guess.
That's awesome.
10 years later, here we are.
Yeah, that's awesome. I feel like sometimes those are just the best way to do it. Doesn't need to be super flashy, doesn't need to be anything, just needs to be meaningful. You knew that was her song, and that was like perfect timing.
Worked out.
I love that. What song was it?
It was Flying Without Wings by Ruben Studdard.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've heard that song.
You should listen to it. It's
Okay.
pretty good.
Yeah. Did you guys play that at the wedding?
We actually did.
I love that.
It was interesting because we, so my wife's an only child.
Okay. Same. Love that.
She has a really small family, like 5 total people.
Oh, wow.
I have 4 sisters, no brothers, so it was 5 kids
Yeah.
and my parents in my house. So we much bigger, right?
Yeah.
My mom's the baby of 10. My dad's
wow.
like 4th of 9.
Oh, my gosh. Wow.
My sisters all have 2. So we have a huge family on my
Yeah.
side and not very much on her side. Well, she thought she wanted to get married in Charleston.
Okay.
And have this big extravagant wedding. And I think she got overwhelmed going through the wedding planning process. And one day she just was like, you know what, I don't want to do this. And I was like, get married?
Wait, what?
Say, no, I don't. I just want to go to a beach. She's a beach mom. She grew up on Lake Michigan.
Oh, awesome.
And so spent time there. She's like, I just want to do a destination wedding. So we ended up actually getting married in St. Lucia.
Okay.
On the beach overlooking the sunset. Small group of family went there, and we ended up having a bigger celebration with some more friends in Columbia when we got back a couple weeks later.
Yeah. It was the beach, though. Were you into the beach idea?
I wasn't.
Okay.
But it wasn't my wedding.
Yeah,
I
very
was
true.
just invited.
Yeah, and it was at sunset, so you're not dealing with the sun.
I tell her this all the time, so it won't be funny for other people to know. So I'm standing out there, I'm out there first.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, because I also don't swim.
Okay.
So I'm out here waiting for my life to change.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, I don't have anywhere to go. So it's either stand here and get married or swim to my death, because nothing out there but the ocean. So,
But you weren't thinking about going. That wasn't an option. I think you made the right choice. I think that was a good move. Yeah, I think that was a good move. That's funny that's what you were thinking about. Was that the best? Yeah, probably the best time you had on a beach ever. Now that you're
it truly was the best trip I've ever taken, and I've been a lot of places.
Yeah.
Italy, France, Greece, Germany. Been pretty much probably about 50 states.
Oh wow.
Been to Hawaii, been to Alaska. And that was the best trip I've ever had.
You got to relax maybe a little bit.
Not a whole lot, but yeah, as much as I've ever relaxed on a vacation, it was in 2011 on St. Lucia.
Okay. Why'd you go to Alaska? What was in Alaska?
Basketball.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, basketball's taken me a lot of places.
That's really cool.
Yeah. I actually went. It was fascinating because I'm a geography buff.
Okay.
I love knowing where things are.
Okay.
How to get there.
I'm the exact opposite.
Yeah.
I know nothing about it.
So I went to Anchorage in November. And what I learned is Alaska has 2 seasons. There's a dark season, there's a light season. And we were there in dark season. I'd never been to a place where that was the case.
Yeah.
And the sun was literally out for like 3 hours a day.
That's like your type of place.
Yeah, but it was kind of downtrodden. Like that much darkness.
Dark, yeah.
It wasn't like it wasn't sunny.
Yeah.
It was dark.
Yeah. And it was cold.
And it was cold.
Yeah.
And so the sun was out from like 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. And that's it.
Wow.
And it was dark the rest of the day.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah, I don't think, as a big fan of naps, that would probably be great, but my productivity would be way down. I'd be like, well, it's dark outside.
They say people are happy there.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I think you have to be used to it. I think it'd be hard to live there coming from here. I think if you were born there, you're probably like, well, this is very normal.
Well, of course.
But
then you go somewhere else and you're like, how did I ever
Yeah.
survive?
Yeah, I couldn't, I remember when I was applying for jobs after graduating college, I was applying for TV jobs, and I applied for jobs up there in Alaska.
But there's a flip side, right? There's another part of the year.
That's very
where
nice, yeah.
Opposite of that.
Yeah.
So, Shout out to the Alaskans.
Yeah. Yeah, I applied for jobs out there, and my dad was like, "You really think you could live out in Atlanta?" I was like, "I'll take a job wherever I can get a job at this point in TV." But yeah, I was like, "I don't know if it would have been that great." And they're like, "Yeah, there's just like moose that walk around," and I was like, "That seems cool."
Absolutely.
So yeah, I'm not glad I didn't get a job up there, but my life would have probably been a little bit different if I had. But yeah, well, this was a great conversation. Love getting to know you a little bit better, and I'm sure our listeners like that as well. We're going to wrap this up here for this episode of the Orange Power Podcast. You can catch the men's and women's basketball teams in action at Walk Around on Friday night at the Beta House. A lot of secrecy going into that one, so you guys are going to want to go out there and see the excitement and get to watch some of the very talented men and women before the season starts the following week. So you're going to want to tune in for that. Thank you for listening and watching the Orange Power Podcast. We'll be right back here next week.